Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Frisky Hug. I'm an EDM content creator, and today we're gonna be playing a game.
I want to play a game.
So for today's game, we're gonna be playing Card Association, but this is gonna be kind of a rave edition. Alright, so we will start with the letter H. So for H, I have home base, which is basically a rave resort. The one I went to was in Orlando for EDC Orlando, and I forget what hotel we stayed in, but basically they made it into like a resort full of ravers. It was like party mode for 4 days straight. I completely recommend it if they have a home base near you. Next letter M, and for that I have Martin Garrix. Now, out of all the artists that probably had the M name, I just kept coming back to Martin Garrix because I've seen him so many times, and I remember back many years ago, he was so young and so talented, and I mean he came out with banger after banger. And then I just recently saw him for Freaky Deaky in October of last year, and you know, he rocked it, and that was the only DJ that I decided to go all the way to the rails for. So I think like me and 3 other buddies were like, let's just go dead center, let's go to the rails for this dude. And he was rocking it and I loved it. Every moment was just insane. The whole set I think I might have recorded on my cell phone. Best letter M. Next one, letter R. And for R, I have Rave Uncle. So the reason I came up with Rave Uncle for R, out of all the R's, is because we all talk about like rave mom and rave dads, but we never talk about the rave uncles, which are basically, we used to be rave dads, which is what I believe I am sometimes. I'm like a rave uncle. So like I used to be like a rave dad, and then I started to care less and less about people, yet at the same time I was making sure I was like taking care of you, you know, in the shadows. You know, I don't like to be the one who's constantly making sure you're 100% like having fun or whatever, because we're trying to have fun too. So I like to kind of disperse and wander around and not have like an entire line of people following me and stuff, which is like what the rave moms and rave dads love to do. They love to lead the pack, and they love to tell you, you know, where we're all gonna go and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, I'm a strong believer in like experiencing the festival. So it's like I'm like a rave uncles are like rave dads with like boundaries. Which I also made I also wrote a blog on it. It's on the ravedoctor.com website, and I wrote a whole thing on the Rave Uncle. So that's why I chose that. Next letter is L, and for L we have Lost Lands. So Lost Lands unfortunately just got canceled. Rest in peace for this year. But it is one of the festivals that I have not gone to, but I plan to go to. I did not buy my ticket for this year because I was gonna save it for next year. So now I guess we're all going next year. So I will see you guys there next year. Next letter is Y. For Y, I have YouTube. And even though this is an EDM, you know, word association game, I put YouTube on there because, believe it or not, YouTube is such a big contributor to, you know, our EDM community. We have a lot of influencers, content creators in the YouTube space that correlate with the festival space. And if it wasn't for YouTube, we wouldn't have videos such as, you know, pearl tutorials, candy tutorials, that's kind of where I learned how to make some candy, is tutorials and stuff like that, you know. So I think YouTube is a great contributor to our EDM community, and I don't think we see that much. Next one's T. And for T, we have Tomorrowland. Just like Lost Lands, Tomorrowland also got canceled this year. It isn't one of my high priority festivals, but it is a big festival that I think needed to be accounted for. Many people want to go to Tomorrowland. I will go at some point, but it is not an urgency for me to go at any time soon. I think it's just nothing more than another festival, and I would rather experience festivals here in the United States before I decided to take it out. And one day I will go to Tomorrowland, but I hope that when I go to Tomorrowland, I go with a group of people. Like we just have like 10 people that we all just decided to go. Then I'll be more enthusiastic about it. But Tomorrowland, definitely on everybody's list. I know it is. Next is X. So X is the X Games, and I was talking to a buddy about X being the X Games word, right, for like my word association game, and he goes, I don't know why you would have that as like your word or your festival, because isn't it like a snowboarding sports like thing? And it is, But every time X Games comes around, they always play EDM. All the concerts are EDM. Isn't it like, that's awesome. So I'm like, it is snowboarding, but it's like raving and snowboarding put together, you know? So it is technically a snowboarding event, but it's also got EDM like concerts going on at the same time. Super cool. I don't know if you guys ever been to the X Games, recommend it. All right, so for the next one we have P. And for P we have Plur. So Plur is basically like this motto that we as ravers go by. It basically means peace, love, unity, and respect. And when you meet a new raver or you see another raver, or even your friends, right? You guys all have that unwritten contract that you guys will all respect each other, treat each other like family, be loving to one another. And Plur basically means that. And when you join into this EDM community, that's what people expect of you and from you. And we do have this like Plur candy trade, which kind of signifies that when you get traded that, you also get taught what Plur is. So for the next one, we have W. So W is, okay, the word is Wux. And out of all the W's, I was gonna do W and W, which is another like pair like of DJs, but I thought Wux represent our community at this time more than anything. They've just risen from who knows where, and there's just so many Wux out there, and I think it's kind of like a little style in a way now. Like people like to look Wookish, you know. And I think some of the actual Wooks get mad that like the way they are is what people try to be. And I know they get mad because people have like pashminas and they're like, oh, you're not even a real Wook. I don't wear pashminas, but I've actually seen people act that way, and like that's not Plur of you Wooks. If you look up the Urban Dictionary definition of Wook, you'll laugh your ass off. Recommend going on Google and Googling it now after this video. Next one is D. So for D, I have Dylan Francis, which is one of my all-time favorite DJs. I'm in love with his music. I'm in love with his attitude. I follow him on everything. He's great personality. He knows friends of my friends and stuff like that. And you know, we've been acquainted with people that kind of know him. And if I could start like the Dylan Francis fan group, I would. I just love who he is as a person. And if you've never heard Dylan Francis live, you need to. Next one is B. So for B, I have Brondo. And the reason I put Brondo, which is another DJ, I invited him to my Zoom chat, and this mofo joined, conversated with us. I mean, just an all-around great person. So humble, you know. The fact that I got to talk to him in front of my friend group on Zoom and chat with him, and he was just so casual about it. Super cool dude. If you ever listen to his music, I also recommend it. Brondo had just come out with like a new song. Don't know what I can't remember if it's called Banana. Don't quote me, it might be actually like a year old or not, but I think that is new. So look it up, Banana by Brondo. Hopefully that's the right song. If not, eh. Alright, so the next one is O, and O is OK. And he's another DJ. He's memorable in my eyes because in 2018, he played the song Thief. And then out comes, I believe it was, Kenny G? He came out, started playing the saxophone. It was just an unbelievable moment. I don't know why that one song at that one time was just so amazing that I had to remember it years later, but it was. And OK, ever since then, I've just been like, wow, like, just, he knows how to rock the sets, you know? Next one is G. So for G, I have Getter. Now, I don't listen to too much Getter now, but I used to. He's such a kickback vibe. So like when you're having like a kickback and you just play some Getter, his music videos on YouTube by far have like the highest like playlist for me when I try to like show somebody like a YouTube video. I always go, oh, you're gonna love this trippy shit. This is gonna like rock your shit. So yeah, Getter, YouTube, great music videos. Next one is K. So for K, I have Keizo. And for the longest time, I always said Kaizo, because I don't know why I think Kaizo just sounds better, but my friends are telling me it's Keizo, like cheese in Spanish, Keizo, like if you just pronounce it wrong. And I put him down on top of Cruella. Believe me, she was next. But Keizo got it because he's such a like alternative rock, like EDM style, and I love it because he kind of brings back my childhood into like my new world. So it's like they're both kind of intertwined. Plus, Keizo is, you know, top-notch stuff. You know, it's part of the benches. I don't know if that's still a thing, but he was part of the benches. Maybe probably still is. Sweet dude. I love his music. Next one is C. So for C, I have Calvin Harris, and that's due to the fact that I nonstop listen to his music. I think he had that song Summer, and that one was stuck in my head forever. I even went through a breakup and all I did was listening to his music. So it's probably why it's just in my head like Calvin Harris, because all I did was listen to his music during my breakups. Maybe that's bad. That's probably bad. Okay, next one is S. So for S, I have Sudden Death. Why do I have Sudden Death? Well, I just got back from his Void tour in the caves. He called it the Blood Cave. I have the entire set on my channel. If you haven't seen the Sudden Death Blood Cave like set that I uploaded, you need to. You obviously missed out. He's such a great dude. I've met him in person multiple times. So awesome, great attitude.
We don't deserve him, he's amazing.
Next one is V. So for V, I have Virtual Fest. And the reason I have virtual festivals on here as my letter V is because they are kind of what have been holding us together for like since like Corona happened until like now. Like they've been kind of what's been keeping us going, right? Obviously now we have like the drive-ins, so the drive-in festivals or raves are kind of like the newer thing going on. But I mean that's recent, you know. So until then, virtual festivals was like back to back to back, and that was keeping me going, keeping me sane for the time being. Now I need more, so I'm going to these drive-ins. I'm going to the one in Denver soon. If you're in the Colorado region, you should go to. It's called Dirty Drive-In. Gonna be there. You should come say hi. Next one is Z. So for Z, I have Zoo. The reason I have Zoo on there is because he was the last DJ to play for EDC Orlando, and my rave group and I kind of we kind of just stuck together during that last moment. We all kind of got to see Zoo together, and I don't know why that's memorable. It just is memorable, you know, being at a festival with your rave family and just finishing off not just the night, but like the entire weekend together. It's so amazing, and it kind of intertwines with what like this whole EDM community is all about, and it's about who you make as family in this rave community, and you guys enjoy your time together. I loved it. A is the next one. So A is Avicii, which is my all-time favorite DJ, and he, you know, may he rest in peace, but I have him on here because I got the chance to actually see Avicii live multiple times, and I had no idea that I was gonna be this thankful for it. The fact that I got to see Avicii, I think like 5 times, you know, has like to this day been so amazing of a memory, because I didn't think that he'd ever pass away, and now I'm just grateful. I mean, and some people are probably gonna debate, be like, oh no, Daft Punk's probably like the, you know, our favorite like all-time DJs of like all time, but you know, to each their own. Obviously we all have our reasons, and Avicii for me is like my all-time for sure. So next one is E, and E was okay. I have EDC. I have EDC because it is definitely the festival that made me who I am today. It was life-changing when I went to my first EDC. I went on a whim, slept on the floor, you know, because my buddies only had 2 beds, and there was 4 people. I'm like, I'll sleep on the floor. Like, I just gotta go to EDC, you know. And I think that's the time I made candy for the first time. Like, that's when I got my rave name. Like, so much happened at EDC 2013 that like trumps anything else. Even like my first like festival in California, like it trumps that, because it was like my first, this EDC was like my first like massive like festival like that. I've never been to something so big before, and I thought those other festivals were already big, so it was definitely life-changing, and I will never give up that memory for anything else. Out of all the festivals I've been through, that's definitely got to be like my number one. Next one is you. And okay, so I couldn't come up with another you, which sucks. If you guys have a better you, let me know. I came up with Unity, which is part of like Plur, but I couldn't find any U's, and I was like, I don't know. And I didn't want to like just find words with you that meant nothing, because then I wouldn't have like a reason to like, you know, like talk about it. And I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about it. So if you guys have any words that start with you, let me know. Only thing I could come up with that meant something to me was Unity. The next one's I. So for I have Insomniac, and I used Insomniac because they're the one company that I've always relied on to always do the right thing. Insomniac, which is ran by Pasquale, has got to be one of the best companies out there. Pasquale likes to listen to what everyone's got to say, fixes the problem for the next festival. You'll never hear about it again. He's fixed so many problems because he's heard the community, and that's what makes Insomniac so great, is they listen to the community and make it better. But that's I. Next one's J. And J is Jaws. And Jaws is on there just like for the same reasons for like Keizo and Getter, you know, just I love their music. Jaws is one of like my top 5 favorite DJs. I think anytime I get a chance to see him, I go. I saw him last at EDC Orlando. I actually saw him so many times last year that I don't actually know if that was the last time I saw him. But I think it might have been, yeah, sure. I gotta listen to Baby Shark for the last time before he discontinued. He's like, I'm never playing this again. Another festival. This is the last time. If you want to see some Jaws clips, I have some videos on my YouTube channel. You can probably just scroll down to like the after movies. He's on there. Next letter is F. So for that, we have Forbidden Kingdom. I put Forbidden Kingdom because it was the last festival that I went to before COVID happened. So I'm very grateful that I went. I will say though, it was a lot of bass and a lot of headbanging. So if you aren't used to a lot of, you know, headbanging, then you need to get used to it, because it's definitely a festival you should go to. It was in Florida. It was a great time. Got to see a lot of cool people. I got to meet a lot of cool people. Conrank. I got to meet G-Rex, Taboo. I wanted to make it to Janston, but you know, I think I missed him. I like saw part of his set and I didn't get to meet him. But it was cool because Forbidden Kingdom had the opportunity for you to meet a lot of cool artists. Like they were just walking around like everybody else. It was really cool. Next one we have Q. So for Q, I have Quix, and Quix is a new DJ. I was talking to one of my buddies, right? And I couldn't find like a Q word. And somebody else was like, oh, you should do Q dance as your word. But I don't really know much about Q dance to really put it on there and like talk about it. So my buddy's like, oh, why don't you do Quix? Q-U-I-X-X, I think it's 2 X's. If not, just maybe 1 X. And he forwarded this Alice in Wonderland remix piece, and I listened to it and I was like, oh man, like this is like really good. And I just kept listening to it, and then I even shared it with some other friends. And I'm like, okay, well, like I will share this newfound info with you guys, and then you guys can look it up on Spotify, check him out. He's definitely got some good stuff on there. So Quix is the name for Q. And last but not least, we have N. And for N, we have Nightmare. And I put Nightmare on there because I went to his Portal tour. He came by here in Denver, and I went to his Portal tour. He had a surprise guest. Sudden Death showed up. So I know anybody that brings up Sudden Death as a guest, I'm just like, it's gonna be a good time, right? He also had Company playing before him as well. And then Wave Dash, if anyone's ever heard of Wave Dash before. All great DJs. I had a great time, and the entire set was just amazing. Okay, well that's it. This is my word game, my EDM word game, our word association rave edition. So I hope you guys liked this video. It was fun for me. Hope it was fun for you. And if you guys come up with that U word, that'd be great. Just post it on my comment section. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, leave me a like, leave me a comment. I love you guys, and I will see you guys at the next festival. If you guys are at the next drive-in, I'll see you there. Bye.